Julia Spencer is a real estate investor with over 25 years' experience who owns multiple investment properties. She's a single mother of two who moved to the U.S. in 1993 with only $20 in her pocket. She currently holds an MBA. Julia Spencer is neither a realtor nor an attorney, and the contents of this recording are only her opinions. Get her free guide to investing at juliamspencer.com. I'm your host, Dr. Steve G. Jones, multimillionaire and hypnotherapist. My website is stevegjones.com. Module 7, Regular Foreclosures. Julia, great information in the last module, the last two modules. In fact, you talked about tax lien foreclosures, getting a home, potentially becoming the owner of it for pennies on the dollar. Just amazing how you can pay a few $1,000 and get something that's worth a lot, even $100,000 or maybe even more. Just absolutely amazing what you can do with a little bit of money if you know what you're doing. Now, to some people, that may not appeal to them because, tax lien foreclosures, and listening to you talk about that, great return, but it sounds like a bit of running around and a bit of work, and you've got to be on the ball. You've got to be reading this and reading that and going to these local meetings and bidding against other people and so forth. What about just good old-fashioned regular foreclosures? Mary and Joe, they can't pay the mortgage anymore, and they're either going to get foreclosed on or got foreclosed on, and you come in and pick that up. First of all, is that what a regular foreclosure is? And second of all, how can we get involved in those and purchase some of those and get those in our portfolio?
Yeah, regular foreclosures are a little bit different than tax lien foreclosures in one major aspect, and that aspect is you get a little bit less running around time and a little bit less of red tape until you actually own the property. And it works just a little bit differently. I went through a very lengthy process to explain tax lien foreclosures in the previous modules, and I realize it's probably a little bit confusing. So when I started investing in real estate, I pretty much just started investing in regular foreclosures. And what that is there's no issue with paying taxes or any kind of other liens, but basically the owners haven't paid their mortgage payments, and now the bank wants to foreclose because they want their property back and sell it to somebody else or keep it in their portfolio or do whatever it is that they do with it. So now you come around and you want to get this property, and you don't want to go through this long process of running around to try to get a good deal. You just want to get this foreclosure, or maybe somebody in your neighborhood that's being foreclosed on, and you're like, hey, let me buy this property because I know it's going to get foreclosed on by the bank. So the biggest difference is you don't have this 1 year waiting period. And I'm talking again, the state of Georgia. Other states work different with the tax lien foreclosures, but a regular foreclosure, a house that's being foreclosed on by a bank for non-payment of the mortgage, it kind of works in a lot of aspects similarly to a tax lien foreclosure, in the fact that it has to be advertised in the legal organ of that county, and it has to show it has to be advertised for 4 consecutive weeks prior to the sale, and it has to basically been shown to be eligible to be sold by the bank. That means all first tier liens have been satisfied, such as the taxes and the insurance, and it's basically now being sold on the same sale day as the tax lien foreclosures. The big advantage as a buyer of this kind of real estate is you might be able to get this, let's say the original owner has owned this property for, maybe they had a 30-year mortgage term and they've been paying on it for, let's say, 15 years, half of the life of the loan. let's say their mortgage was $100,000 initially, now, and they had to put, 25% down, so they already had some equity. So now the remaining mortgage, let's say, is about $50,000. It's a nice round number. So the bank will then say, well, the advertisement in the paper will say so-and-so has entered into this agreement with us to pay this mortgage on such and such date, and the original mortgage amount was this amount, and they have defaulted, and thus we are foreclosing. So when you go to the actual auction, the starting bid will be whatever that is owed on that mortgage, plus all these so far attorney's costs and advertising costs and foreclosure costs that the bank had to pay for that particular buyer, for that owner, and that will be your starting bid. So if you're buying a foreclosure that a bank is bringing to foreclosure for non-payment, you could definitely still get a really, really good deal, providing that the market hasn't turned down and the property hasn't lost in value and the owner was upside down on their mortgage, and they have already spent several years, possibly even most of their mortgage term, paying it off and have a significant amount of equity that you can now purchase because the bank is only going to ask for whatever is left owed to them.
For your free guide to real estate investing, visit juliamspencer.com.